right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol Nndm, Nano Dimensions. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all the first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to the channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all the subscribers, welcome back. And as we jump into this chart, I do want every single investor to be aware of the fact that today we have a new ticker symbol you won't want to miss towards the end of this video. And it's a semiconductor company that is very small with huge growth in the last 7 months and so much potential moving forward. So stay tuned till the end for more information on that. But let's talk about Nano Dimensions and Nndm stock now, and we'll talk more about that towards the end of the video. So Nano Dimensions, let's go ahead and move our resistance and support to their new locations due to the fact that resistance was broken through, right? That's some good news there for every single investor. We're seeing this actually bring itself back up, and the most recent bottom was down here at 1297. Now, a lot of investors are actually now saying, okay, well, if there is going to be a vote, it's no longer a type of uncertainty. If not, okay, we know what's going to happen. There's going to be pullbacks, but we're going to have growth over time, right? I think that's how investors are looking at it now, instead of running away from it, leading towards into that date of the vote, or some insiders or information on what investors have read are probably making them want to stay instead of getting out, right? A lot of people were getting out to, confirm their profits and get back in, but this has started to run pretty fast already, back up almost $3 from those lows. And we haven't even had the vote yet. And if the vote happens, we need to see how that reaction is going to happen as well. So it's going to be very interesting for Nano Dimensions these next couple of weeks going into that vote. And once that vote happens, we will start to see some type of pullbacks like we saw when the offerings happened, because there might be offerings on the way, or the dilution. It's going to have some effect overall on the stock. But interesting enough, this ticker symbol is riding upwards, and we're going to do an update today on ARK Invest. So yesterday we were a little bit caught by surprise. There was a discrepancy of about 150,000 shares that were no longer existent in any of the ETFs. A lot of people mention the ETF, which is actually an index fund, right? Not an ETF, but it's an index ETF is how they call it, based off of ARK's investments terminology for that specific ETF. And a lot of people were mentioning there's 200,000 shares in IZRL, right? The ETF that's an index. Well, I don't pay much attention to that one, because I've come to realize when I did videos about Ceragon, if you guys had a chance to watch it, Ceragon was in that list. I'm not sure if it still is, but every single stock in that list moves up and down together simultaneously. So if shares go up on some of them, all of them go up. If shares go down on one of them, all of them go down. So the Nano Dimensions amount of shares that's going on in that ETF don't have much of a correlation to what's going on with ARKW and ARKQ, because these are holdings, right, that they plan on holding long term. In that index, things fluctuate really fast, and I believe that they use it as a source to either do some day trades or swing trades over time and make a quick profit as an institutional investor, instead of calling it day trading or swing trading, right? But that's the strategy, because if they all go up, they all go down, they're all being sold and bought like at the same time. It's not like these ETFs that we've been following, ARKQ and ARKW, where they load up on their positions and they shave off when they feel like it, but they keep on loading up because the goal is for this ETF to grow over time, and every single stock in the ETF is meant to grow over the course of the next years, months, or even decades, right? Depending on what their goal is in the long term. So I try to stay away from IZRL. I've known that it's there, and I noticed it the first day it was there when I was doing the videos of Ceragon when it popped up, and I just want every single investor to be aware that be careful monitoring that one, because those numbers, they move up and down way too fast. This is more stable what we're looking at. So there was a discrepancy of 150 shares. I'm not saying they couldn't have ended up in IZRL. I completely respect that and understand everyone's perspective on where that could have went. But I think they actually were sold. And there was only 100 more added to the other one, which was ARK W. So there was 150 that just weren't anywhere. So we're going to look at today's charts and we're going to see some good news. The stock started to go up and they bought more. So let's see here. So this is ARK W, right? On the first, and they have 4,233,365 shares. Well, ARK W today has 4,328,916 shares. And there's the date, 2/2/21, and this is ARK W. So that was a nice little jump right there of another 100,000 shares, 105 shares in total for ARK W. Now, that's good news because they shaved off for the first time in months. They did things a little different yesterday than we've known throughout this whole course of following this and keeping up with it, which I found interesting, but they've quickly jumped back on and said, okay, we need to buy more because this was the best price. We thought it was going to go lower, or let's just take some profits because they were rebalancing, but they're still true to their bold statements. This thing goes up, we buy more at any of these prices because this is the best prices before it gets any higher in the future, right? So here we are with 2/1/21, right? 2021. And they have 6,806,597 shares. This is where we saw that discrepancy of about 200,000 shares and so forth. Now, this is what it is for today. So, 2/2/21, right? The next day, in Nano Dimensions, and they have 7,093,653 shares. Now, if you go to IZRL and there's 200,000 shares missing, then that will probably tell us the discrepancy from yesterday and today. But I highly doubt that's the case. I haven't looked at IZRL, so if anybody wants to correct me, you can. But I believe this was a purchase of 200,000 shares from yesterday to today, which is almost 300,000 shares from where it came from. Right? 200 to get to 7 million plus 93 more. And then yesterday to today on ARK W, that's another 100,000. So we're talking about almost 500,000 in total that has been bought by ARK Invest. I mean, they were really bullish today and they said, "Nuh-uh, we are not missing out on this ride." And they got in. They got in real quick. So we're going to look at some numbers here. And I want us to pay close attention to this. But yesterday was the first day I saw ARK Invest behave a little different. But today, it's showing me again how bullish they are and how bold they are with their statements on their actions. I look forward to seeing your guys' thoughts on this and how it makes you feel as an investor compared to yesterday's findings to today's. So, the 50-day moving average is 14.15. As long as we're above it, we're in bullish territory. The moment we're below it, we're in bearish territory. Okay, I want every single investor to be aware of that. We're slightly in a tug of war zone here, but it's getting pretty bullish here based off the chart. Now, our support is 14.45. If that gets broken through, there's a small window between 14.15 and 14.45 to see how the stock is doing, if the bulls are trying to reappear and bring it back up, or are the bears tearing this one down fairly fast and getting closer to the 50-day moving average. Very important to keep that in mind. Now, if it breaks through support in the 50-day moving average, your next support is down here at 13.76, and you definitely want to see how the bulls are reacting within these levels. So keep a close eye on how the stock is reacting within this area. Now, our resistance here is 15.15. If that gets broken through and turned into a support, the bulls are going to continue their momentum. And I want to go ahead and put emphasis on the fact that they need to break through this. But since it's such a small gap here of 2 cents, I would say they would need to break through all the way up here at 1560 to get much further into bullish territory, and the midway point like around 1544 to work their way up to newer highs and not allow the 50-day moving average to catch up to the price. But the first resistance level based off today's chart and the last couple of hours is 1515, then 1544, and then all the way up here at 1560 to work their way up to newer highs, new resistance levels, continue the momentum, and maintain that bullish leverage on staying in bullish territory, okay? I want every single investor to be aware of that, and I want to put emphasis on these resistance levels. They need to be breaking through to continue the upward trend and momentum. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. Stay tuned till the end because I have a new ticker symbol to share with you guys you won't want to miss, and you definitely want to add it to your watch list. So for everyone that has stayed to this point in the video, the ticker symbol I'm about to share with you guys is in the semiconductor sector. Now, it's been growing exponentially, and I believe there's so much more room going into the coming years for this company, and their market cap is so small compared to its competitors, and I believe that as that market cap continues to grow, the stock price has all the potential to grow as well. So let's go ahead and look at it. It's UMC, United Microelectronics. Now, in the last year, it grew from around down here, $2.50 almost, all the way up to $10.70. Now, this hasn't been in a year. This is 2020 in June, so this has been only like 7 to 8 months. So it hasn't even been a year. I look forward to seeing where this is going to be in the next 4 months, 5 months, to then compare it to those numbers. But we are seeing it pull back. I completely understand. I apologize to every single viewer that I didn't come across this one anytime sooner. If not, I would have been talking about it, and I probably would have had a position already. So right now, this is on my watch list, and I'm keeping a really close eye on it. But there's so much potential moving forward as long as this doesn't just pull back and eat away and end up back at $5. It's going to be a good one to watch if there's some consolidation or it pulls back down to around $7 and some change, and we find some consolidation within this area, and then earnings, and then all the different catalysts moving forward going into the year, and the growth continues. This stock has potential, especially once we start to see the market cap rise. So we're currently at 948 for it, and the revenue has grown in the last couple of years. I mean, it went from 4 to 5, and then it went back to 4, and then 6 this last year, 2020. Now, net income was fluctuating also, and that was 300 million 2017, 2018, 200, then 300 again in 2019, and then here we are with the largest amount in the last 4 years, or 3 years better said. We're on the 4th year now, actually, and that is 900 million, right? Almost 1 billion in revenue. Excuse me, net income. Revenue was 6 billion. And when we go to the quarterly, you could see how much growth it's had over time. This stock has a lot more room, especially if it continues to grow in revenue and profit margins. It's going to be awesome because the more a stock or company profits, the more it reflects in the stock price, and the more it reflects in the stock price, the higher it goes, and the market cap is going to grow with it. So if you compare this to its competitors, there's a lot of room still for this market cap, and there's a lot of room for the market share of the semiconductor sector for this company in the years to come. I definitely recommend doing your research and due diligence. I'm not here to tell you guys to buy, sell, or hold any positions on UMC or any stock that I share here in the channel Invest for Tomorrow. I'm just here to enlighten you guys on stocks that are being overlooked, and they're not hyped. They're nice and quiet, but they show organic and healthy growth. If I say ever a stock is speculative, that's different. But I don't see any speculation here. I see nothing but healthy and organic growth, especially when you look at the income statements and financials that are showing the same upward trend and the chart is showing it. That's a good correlation. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to seeing your guys' thoughts on this one, and let's make some money.